Hey, my little ladies. Thanks for following me on YouTube. Um, I've had many of you request an update, and what's funny is I did one a little while back, and I forgot to post it, and then I somehow deleted it. So, so I thought, since I just got another message that, I'm just gonna do it right now, and that way no one is missing out. Thanks so much for following me. I really appreciate it, and listening to my journey, my LuLaRoe journey. So it is July. As you know, I onboarded in October, so that's how many months? Wow, we're 9 months in. Holy moly schmoly. Okay. Woo! All right, so 9 months in, it has been a wild ride, a crazy ride, a exhausting ride, and lots of ups and downs, a lot of triumphs and a lot of failures. And if you are contemplating LuLaRoe, I think, it's still a wonderful company. I love, love, love what I do. Make no mistake about that. But I really feel like we are hitting, and this is just me personally, we're hitting a little bit of a, I don't know what I want to call it, a downturn, a revolution, evolution of the company. So as most of you know, about a year, well, I guess it's over a year and a half ago, early 2015, 2015? No, 2016. Early 2016, late 2015, people were just, LuLaRoe was new. It was crazy. People were making crazy money hand over fist, and a lot of people saw that. A lot of people were hyped up about that. Said, oh, you can come in, make so much money, blah, blah, blah. Which was true for those people that were already in there. But because so many people joined and didn't do the work, I think it really, and I know a lot of people will disagree with me, and I'm just going to say it's my opinion. If you don't like it, I'm very sorry. You don't have to listen. But from my experience, my opinion is that there's way too many of us. There's a lot of people that got into the business thinking that it was going to be fast money, that they weren't going to have to do any work, and they found out that, it's a lot of work. It's a huge time suck. And I don't say that in a bad way. It's just, it takes up a lot of time. It's not easy. And I lost my train of thought. And when those people came in, all they did was, basically there was like a pool of people, okay? And you have a small group of consultants feeding that pool. So they're making a ton of money. Well, now you have that same pool, not really growing, and now you have a lot of consultants trying to feed that same pool. So everybody's sales go down. So the people that were already in it, their sales went down. The people that are coming into it aren't seeing the sales that they were promised. And so now you have a lot of people who are getting out. They realize it's, spending all of their time, and they're not making the money that they thought they were going to make. And so now you've got them all going out, selling stuff at a discount, just, I don't know, in my opinion, screwing everybody else. But, so, and then, I think there's a little bit of bad press which every company is going to have. I'm not really worried about that. But, the frenzy is kind of dying down a little bit because people aren't bringing in enough new customers to keep that momentum going. When I say it's oversaturated, what I mean is that for the pool of customers that we currently have, there's too many consultants. It doesn't mean that the potential is there. Certainly, if all the people that onboarded brought in a ton of new people, heck yeah, man, we'd all still be making bank. But that is not the case. They're just trying to suck dry the people that are already, into it, and it's just hurting everybody. So, God, my arm's getting tired. So I think that's why. So what we're seeing is a lot of people are getting out. I think there's a lot of people who are really into it, but they can't sustain that kind of purchasing for forever. So plus you got those ladies who have like 100 pairs of leggings, and really at that point, like, you don't need more leggings. And I think people aren't servicing their customers, which is another thing that I think has caused a lot of problems, is that with the holes in the leggings or just customer service in general, people just didn't give a crap. They didn't give a crap about their customer or making things right because they saw, oh, well, it's going to take money out of my pocket, so no, I'm not going to do that. Well, sorry, I have an itch. Then you lose your customers, and then you're making even less money. So, I mean, when you go into business for yourself, your business is your customers. If you don't have customers, and if you're not servicing your customers to make them keep wanting to come back, guess what? You've got no customers. And then you get a reputation and yada, yada, yada. So I think there's a lot of things happening that are hurting the business versus helping. So we're seeing kind of a slump. We're also, now we're in July, so it's the summertime anyway, so it's slower. And not to say that things won't get busier again in the fall, but I think that we're never going to see the kind of money, the kind of numbers that those people in the beginning saw. Unless you happen to grow your personal customer base, and really I'm talking about more locally than anything else. If you grow your local customer base and those ladies are loyal to buying from you, you can make a ton of money. But you have to be focused on building your customer base, not feeding off of everybody else's. That's where the problem comes in. So, a little about what's happened to me now that I've gone on this rant. So as you know, in January, I lost my job and I started to do LuLaRoe full time. And the first probably 2 months, it was great. Things were really good. And I wasn't making a lot of money, but I was making enough to pay bills and order consistently, and everything was good. I'm not sure what happened in May, but May, was it May? I think it was May. May, things just took a nosedive for some strange reason. So you also had the Facebook algorithm change, which was a huge blow for everybody. So you had that problem as well. That, basically kind of reset things for a lot of people, which was not a good thing. And so so May was a tough month. Things really started to decline in May. And online sales, I was doing online multis. I was doing little bit of live sales. And then what I noticed was that the multis were going down and I wasn't selling anything, but then the lives I was selling a ton. So I switched gears very quickly and I stopped really doing multis. Still did a few of the good ones, but that's another thing. Make sure you're picking and choosing. If you're being asked to pay to be in a thing, or this is, I'm like so done with this. The pro hostesses who are like, I want a booking item, you got to give them something for free just for being there, whether you sell anything or not. Hell no. Do not do that. That's crap. If I don't sell anything in your group, I shouldn't have to pay you anything. And I get that you're working your butt off, and I'm totally down with that. But you're not doing your job if I'm not selling. If I haven't sold anything in your group, you're not doing your job. Okay? So you shouldn't get a booking item. So really evaluate whether or not you want to be doing those sorts of things. It sort of seems like a good idea, but it's kind of not. You end up giving away way more than you make, and it's kind of stupid. And, with the Facebook algorithm change, everybody started getting away from, well, let me back up. So when LuLaRoe said, hey, you can't post in the BSTs anymore, that was blow up. So it's like a chain of events that really, I think, screwed us. They said no more BSTs, so that really hurt us because that's where all the customers were, and trying to get them to switch over was like not happening. And so people were starting to ask you to pay. They found out that the people weren't going over, so they said, okay, no more advertising because that's not working. Or doing your ads in the different link groups. Now you're going to pay us, and we're going to do Facebook ads, and we're going to do giveaways. Which sort of seemed like a good idea, but to be honest with you, if I'm paying you $10 for one freaking sale, that is bull honky. I don't care. That's just ridiculous. And especially when I'm not really selling anything. Online works great when you, I think, and this is just my opinion again, just my opinion, I think online works great when you have a huge inventory. Because you have so much selection, you have so much to choose from, you're gonna sell, okay? When you have a smaller inventory like I do, it don't work so well because they only have limited choices. And so you're not gonna sell, you're just not gonna sell. So anyway, so multi started to take a dive. I wasn't selling anything, but I was doing live sales, and the live sales were doing really well. And for those of you who are scared of doing a live sales, get over it. I don't know what you're scared about. Nobody cares. And if you go into it being yourself and with the realization that when you are yourself, no one's going to care if you flub it up. I mean, be prepared, people. Seriously. If you're not prepared, if you're not, you're like, what's next? Okay, where's this? Where's that? That's not professional. I mean, have a game plan. Know what you're going to do. So I started switching gears, and I started doing a lot of live sales. And I was doing probably 4 live sales a day. And that served me okay for a few weeks. And then even that was like not working. So June, end of May and June was terrible. Terrible. I mean, like, I was not selling anything. If I was lucky, I was selling a couple of pieces a week. I mean, like, it was ridiculous. And the whole time I have been, since the beginning of the year, I have been focusing more on doing events and trying to get in-person stuff. And because I know that from experience, and I know everybody says this, but it really is true. The in-person is 10 times better than any online sale you're ever going to do. Okay? 10 times better. Now, that being said, it is a pain in the ass to try to get people to book parties. It's a pain in the ass. Nobody wants to do it. I don't know why. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but People don't want to do it. People don't want to ask their friends to come over and shop. I don't know why not. I mean, you phrase it like it's a party. You're like, hey, come on over for girls' night. We're going to have some drinks and chit chat, and there's going to be some clothes here if you want to shop a little bit, and it's going to be like a fun thing. Why you wouldn't want to do that, I have no idea. But anywho, and I even like allow people, if they want to host it at my house, so they don't have to worry about cleaning. So anyway, I'm trying to focus on doing more events and doing more in-person stuff because you just make more money that way. I mean, the things, and I'll tell you how I know this is true, okay? I have several people in my VIP who are local to me, okay? When I get a new shipment, I will do a live sale with that new stuff in my VIP. And they're like, oh, I kind of like that. I don't know. Yeah, they're on the fence about it. Then they come over to my house, look at the same shirt, and are like, ooh, I love this. It is completely different. The patterns, the fabrics, everything is completely different in person than it is online. I know Deanne like really stresses this, and I kind of thought, in the beginning, like whatever, what's the difference? But it is the God's honest truth. In person is where it's at. And like I said, that's a pain in the ass because nobody wants to do it. If you can get people to do it, fabulous. Really make sure that you are, you have a good hostess game plan, prep, making sure you have, a good checklist for them, a good, you're keeping up with them every single week, that you're pushing them to post, you're pushing them to reach out to their people. You need to have a checklist of all the things that they need to do, and you need to make sure that they do them. You cannot drop the ball, okay? And you have to let them know that they cannot drop the ball, because if they drop the ball and they don't do what you've said that they should do, then they're not going to have anybody show, and then they're not going to get free stuff, and it's going to be a waste of everybody's time. So, praise them when they do something great. I stress quality over quantity. Don't invite 500 people. 500 people are not going to show. Invite the ladies that either love LuLaRoe or could love LuLaRoe. Okay? You need to invite, if you can get a core group of like 10 to 20 ladies, that's all you need. That is all you need. It's going to be fabulous. You're going to sell a ton, and it's going to be awesome. Because, and it really does work. I cannot stress this. When you're online, you have 10 million choices. If you don't like something in my group, you can go to somebody else. Well, if they're at a party, they can only shop what I got. And so they're going to buy what I have, versus saying, oh, I'm not sure if I like it. Let me look around and I'll come back. No, it's like going to the mall. You're like, oh, okay. I like it, but I'm not sure. Let me think about it and I'll come back. And then they never come back. So parties, in-person stuff is where it's at. Let people try it on. It really, 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 really makes a difference. And let me tell you, that's the way you sell the ugliest shit ever. And let me say, it might be hideous to you because you have your own taste, but it's going to be like the best thing ever for somebody else because that's their taste. So I never tell anybody that's ugly, even though I'm thinking, but yeah, so that's the dealio, okay? All right, so getting back to what I was doing. So like mid-June, or actually early June, I was like, I just can't keep going like this. I'm going to have to go back to work because it's not paying the bills. It's only getting slower in the summer. Even my established multi-events, which were doing really well, were slowing down, and I was still selling good, but nowhere near where it was in the spring. So I just, my husband and I are almost done with our bankruptcy. It's going to be finalized very soon. But I just don't have the money to invest. I have nothing to fall back on, so I have to get a job. So starting in June, early June, I made the decision that there was no choice. I had to, because I couldn't put food on the table, I couldn't pay bills, and that was just not going to work. So I did make that decision. I started looking for a job. I still have not found a job. But I do have some interviews and some stuff coming up, so fingers crossed that I will actually get a job. I'm going to continue to do LuLaRoe because I love it. I love selling LuLaRoe. I love it. I love talking about it with people. I love getting excited with people. It's just so much fun. It's just so much fun. So I'm still going to do it evenings and weekends, and hopefully I'll be making a decent amount of money that I can start investing in the business again. With the downturn, I had in the fall and like January, November through January, I had built up my inventory, so I was up at like 450 pieces from like 300. But with things slowing down in May and how terrible they were in June, because I rely on that to pay my electric bill and put food on the table, whatever I was selling had to go to pay bills versus reordering product. So, and then I had some, of course, unexpected things come up. I did wholesale out a lot of my inventory, so my inventory is way down now. I think I'm at 250 pieces, which, it was a necessity. Nothing I can do about it. But my hope is that once I do get a job, that I'll start reinvesting a little bit. And so with my VIP, so in June, I decided that I was going to really focus on my VIP, and have been lax like the last week or so. But I made sure that I was posting 2 to 3 times a day in my VIP, making sure that they're engaging posts. And that means, posts that are asking a question, getting people to respond. It's not just that could be interesting post. It's hey, what do you think of this? Or hey, tell me your favorite color. Or hey, Emma's sick again and I don't want to watch Moana for 500th time. What movies do you recommend? And that sort of thing. Things are getting people to respond, because the Facebook algorithm, and this is like mind-blowing for me, the way that Facebook works is you may have 2,000 people in your group, and when you post, it's sending it out to, let's say, 15 people, okay? If those 15 people don't, like a good portion of those don't respond, whether it's a like, a comment, something, they will not continue to show your post in the notifications for the other people in your group, okay? So your post is dead. That's why you won't see a lot of response. However, if a good portion of those people do respond to your post, then it's going to continue to send it out to more and more and more people. So I did make sure that I was doing engaging posts all the time. And then also, I look at what everybody else is doing. I see what's successful for people, what's not successful for people, kind of what people's strategy is. And then I take it and I sort of tweak it to what I think will work. And so I also did some looping to try to get some new blood into my group. Because I really like the saying, and I'm going to totally screw it up, but basically it works out to be that the inventory you have is not old, okay? The eyes that you have on it are old, okay? Meaning that if you're constantly showing your inventory to new people who have never seen it before, then you're going to sell. if you try to show the same thing to the people who have already seen it in your VIP 20,000 times, they know your stuff, they're not going to buy it because they didn't like it the first time. So, it's very true that your inventory isn't old, it's just you need to get some fresh eyes on it. One of the things I also did, because I couldn't buy more inventory, was I did a lot of swapping. And I think every week I would swap out a ton of inventory just so that I'd have something fresh to show to my VIP. And I swear I have switched out my inventory like 3-4 times, my entire inventory. The other thing was, they released a couple of new collections, this Americana, the Disney. So let me speak a little bit too. I got a lot of slack in my upline, or my Lula Sisters group, about this, but I really do feel like, it's worth mentioning. These capsule collections that they put out, whether it's Elegant or Americana or Valentine's or whatever, if you are not one of the first people that gets those, you're not going to sell it. You're going to have it sitting around. They did the Mommy and Me, and the Mommy and Me, the patterns were so, love you LuLaRoe, they were so shitty that nobody wanted them. I mean, so many people were stuck with Mommy and Me. Same thing with the Valentines. In that first week or two, everybody's gung-ho, they want it. But once they get it, they're done. And a lot of people don't want them. Okay? Same with the Americana. I did not purchase Americana. I didn't do Mommy and Me either. I did Valentine's, but I only did a few. I didn't do a whole lot because I really wasn't convinced it was going to be huge. And I used those to book parties, and that was a flop, so let's not go there. But, I did not order Mommy and Me. I did not order Americana. The reason I didn't order Americana was, it's like any of the capsule collections, okay? It's good for a tiny space of time. You're only going to have a limited audience. Not everybody wants it. I don't care what they say. And to be honest with you, I thought the Americana, most of it was hideous. Nobody wants giant, and it wasn't even cute, Statue of Liberties. It was weird, freaky looking Statue of Liberties, and they were giant ones, all over. I was like, ugh. Now, there were some cute prints, don't get me wrong, but I just was not feeling it, and I'm just like, I don't know if anybody's gonna buy this crap. Plus, I didn't really have the money anyway, so I'm like, eh. So I didn't purchase any of that. And in the future, I'm really not gonna do a lot of the capsule stuff because I just don't really feel like it sells. And so Disney was coming out. They hyped it and hyped it and hyped it. And I was a little disappointed about the fact that, we're doing something that's gonna completely revolutionize and it's nothing anybody's done before. And I was like, this is it, Disney? How is this not something that anybody else has done before? You see Disney shit everywhere. I was really hoping it was some new fabric or something really ingenious that was going to have mass appeal. And don't get me wrong, I like Disney. Who doesn't? But I don't want to wear it. Unless you really love it, who's going to want to wear it? Really? But anyway, so everybody, all the consultants were saying, it's gonna change everything, it's gonna turn it all around, blah. What a load of crapola. And I said this to my group before they even launched it, because one, I knew they were gonna jack up the price, which pisses me off. Historically, their launches of these things are just god awful. And I love LuLaRoe. I know they try really hard to make it fair and do the best that they can, and I really appreciate that, but no matter what they do, it's just totally fucked up. So, now they are having the new East Coast distribution, so maybe that will be a little bit better, but everybody's saying, oh, Disney's going to be huge. It's going to turn everything around, and it's going to bring in new people that don't know about LuLaRoe. I had my reservations about all of that. I thought, well, I don't know that I think that that's all true. So I did a little poll in my group, and I said, okay, who's interested in Disney? And of those people that are interested, what styles and kind of what you're looking for. So I have about 2,500 people in my group. And I would say of the people that responded, and it was not nearly 2,500 people, of the, 100 or 200 people that responded, only half of them said that they were interested in Disney. And most of them just said they wanted leggings. I had one person that said they wanted a Carly. But in most cases, people weren't really, you got to really love Disney. Or you got to be going on a trip to Disney or something to be wearing like giant Mickey Mouse heads everywhere. You just got to love it. If you don't love it, you're not going to wear that every day. Anyway, so I didn't have the money. I scrimped and saved to be able to order Disney because they jacked up the price, which, I was not thrilled about. But I get it. Disney wants their cut. So I only ordered leggings. I did order a little bit of the kids just so that with the hope that I could get some mommy and me stuff. And also I feel like the kids are the ones that are going to want to wear the Disney stuff more than the adults. So I did get a few kids. So let me speak to how this went for me. And I have spoken to other consultants, so it's not just me. But this launch, God love them, it was terrible. It crashed the system. No matter what they do, it always seems to crash the system. People on the West Coast, when they do these launches, the people on the West Coast always get their shit way before everybody else, which pisses me off. Because then they have a super big advantage because people are gung-ho in the very beginning and they're like, gimme. And then it slows down because now those people have gotten what they wanted and now there's like not many people left who want it. So that's one thing, and hopefully having Eastern distribution will fix that. But, there were people who got their shit, I would say, it took them, so they launched on Friday. I didn't order it until Sunday because I didn't have the money. But also the system was crashed and there was all kinds of problems. And there was a lot of people who tried to order on Friday and didn't get to order until Monday. So, of course, they ran out of stuff and blah, blah, blah. So, people ordered on Friday. I ordered on Sunday night. It took them probably 3-4 days to send out all the orders from Friday. Okay? I didn't get my Disney order for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I don't care what you say. That really fucks me. Because now everybody's gotten all their stuff. Okay. So they did a small release. They said, okay, everybody can order 25 items. We're going to let everybody order 25 items. And then in a few days, we'll open it up and you can order whatever you want. Okay. In theory, that sounds like a great idea. However, in my opinion, what they should have done is done that. And then once they got, they said, okay, this is the cutoff. If you want your 25 items, you got to order by this date. What they should have then done is gotten all of those 25 orders out the door not 25 orders, all of those people who ordered their first 25, all of that should have been gotten out the door before they released it to, for larger orders. Because this is what happened. I'm on the East Coast, so even though I ordered on Sunday night, I didn't get my stuff for 2 weeks. Okay, people that ordered on Friday, of course they got it before me. I get that. That's whatever. But there are people that ordered on Friday that got their stuff when I got my stuff. Okay, so that's one. The people on the West Coast got some of those people got their stuff in like 2-3 days. And of course they sold out. Well, they opened up the mass ordering on like Monday or Tuesday when they hadn't even nearly caught up with the minimum orders yet. And so now the people on the West Coast and people went freaking nuts and they ordered $10,000 worth of freaking Disney, which is insane. And they got their stuff before I even got my 25. Days and days before I even got my 25. So those West Coast people had a serious freaking advantage. And so many of us East Coast people were pissed because all those people sold all their shit out and all the people on the East Coast were fucked because we didn't get our stuff until way later. And by that time, the market for those people that wanted that stuff, they had already gotten it from all the West Coast people. And it screwed the rest of us. And I'm not trying to talk bad about LuLaRoe. Let me rephrase that. I just think what happened really sucks. And I know they do their best. No process is going to be perfect. Certainly I know that. But anyway, like I said, like I believed, Disney was not the great savior of LuLaRoe, okay? There are a few people who are still looking for stuff, but of course they want the unicorn prints. They don't want all the other stuff. So now there are people that are stuck with shit like this. Nobody wants this crap. Nobody wants this. Hideous colors. So they want now just the unicorn prints. Because they've gotten everything else. So I ordered 10 pairs of OS, 10 pairs of TC, and this is actually 10 pairs, not 10 packages, because they did it different. 10 pairs of those two, and then I ordered 2 each of the 2 kid sizes. I didn't do any tween, because I thought, no fucking teenager's going to wear this shit. And that's all I did. I sold probably 6 pairs. Yes, 6 pairs of my TC. I did order 1 Carly. I ordered a 3X Carly for myself, thinking, okay, if I love it, I'll keep it. If not, I can sell it. So I ordered 1 Carly and then rest leggings. And now I'm stuck with this shit. So I sold 6 pairs of my 10 of my TC in my live sale. I only had like 3 people who claimed anything in my live sale, in my VIP, and then one of those backed out. She just never paid, never responded, never nothing. And then I think one of them also decided later that she didn't want some part or piece or something, I don't know. But anyway, so basically, I was then stuck with 4 pairs of kids, 10 pairs of OS, and 4 more pairs of TC that nobody wanted. I tried to get rid of it. Nobody wanted those. They wanted, because the people that did want those already got those like 2 weeks ago. So they didn't want mine. So I got stuck with all of that and ended up wholesaling, and I'm still trying to wholesale. I just have the OS left. Still trying to wholesale my OS just to get rid of them to make back my money. So like I said, Disney was not the savior of freaking LuLaRoe, was not the savior of the consultants. Now, some consultants made a lot of money, but they're, guess what, the most on the West Coast. So, anyways. And if you don't have those unicorn leggings, you're kind of stuck right now. So I'm sure, and it's a 2-year thing. It's not a capsule. It's a 2 years. So they're going to release new patterns and new characters and all that good stuff. And that's all well and good. But if I don't get my junk early, I'm stuck. I don't get rid of it. So anyway, so that's my rant. Which is that's not what this was supposed to be about. But so where I'm at right now is looking for a job. Still doing LuLaRoe. Though I did take I took a break for a couple weeks because I felt very discouraged. I felt really burnt out. I felt really unsupported by my team. And there were some people on my team who were very supportive and others who just were jerks, to put it mildly. And yeah, so I just got very, very discouraged. And, because I wasn't seeing any results from any of my work. I was doing tons of live sales. I was doing multis. I was trying to get events. Just trying to work my VIP. But, I think people are just like, I just need a break. Like, I don't have the money to spend on this. Because I've spent a ton. I'm tired of being inundated with 10 million notifications every day. People are just over it on the online. I really feel like we're in a downturn in the online, and people are just like, I can't deal with it anymore. So because I believe that, I am trying to focus more on the in-person, and trying to work the events, trying to get parties, trying to do other things to differentiate myself from the herd. Today I did released personal shopping, not personal styling, personal shopping. As a consultant, we have a lot of access to other people's inventory, people that are wholesaling stuff and whatnot. So, what I decided to do was offer people personal shopping. I want people to buy it from me, okay? But I realize that I have a small inventory. I don't carry all the styles. I don't have a good selection. And people are looking for kind of, they like stripes, or they like paisley, or they like florals, or they like purple, or whatever the case may be. So I decided to start doing some personal shopping for people. And searching out those styles and colors and patterns that they're kind of really like, sending them a picture of what I find, saying, do you like this? Would you like it? If they do, excuse me, then I will purchase it from the other consultant and then sell it to them. So that's what I'm sort of trying right now. I tried to do, what did I call it? The traveling boutique. I did some Facebook advertising, got really good response. People really loved the idea of me coming to them either during their lunch or at their home, bringing the styles and sizes that they were interested in so that they could shop. And they wouldn't have to go to somebody's house or look online or whatever. People loved the idea. Nobody signed up for it. Surprise, surprise. So that didn't work. Try reaching out to some businesses. people don't want you coming in to sell shit to their employees. So that's been really tough. I did have the idea of doing a mobile boutique. Well, everybody freaking latched onto that idea all of a sudden, and now there's a million of them. Now, they're not really doing, in my mind, they're really not doing shit with it that I really feel like they could, and I had some really good ideas, but I just don't have the money for it. I don't have the money for a trailer. I don't have the money for this, that, and the other thing, so I'm not going to do that. And plus, I don't want to jump on the bandwagon now that everybody else is doing it. So that's kind of where I'm at. I think that if you're considering jumping into LuLaRoe, there's a lot of things that you need to consider. Okay. One, this is a fabulous business. The clothes are amazing. The people are amazing. I love, love, love what I do. However, if you get into it, know that you're going to work your ass off. Okay. You're not going to make a ton of money. You're going to have to really be a salesperson. You have to be comfortable in your own skin. You have to be comfortable being live. You have to be comfortable getting up in front of people. You need to be, creative and be able to think outside the box. How can I style this differently? How can I present differently? How can I market differently? And you need to have the discipline to be able to grow your business. Okay. Make no mistake, this is not okay, I'm just going to buy the clothes and they'll just sell. That's not going to happen. Get it out of your head. Not happening. You're going to have to work your ass off. And if you want to make a lot of money, guess what? You're going to have to do it full time. Because, and this is not in every case, because there are some exceptions, but in most cases, you make what money you put into it and what time you put into it. Okay? Excuse me. My nose was itching. I didn't think you wanted to see that. So, if you're coming in with no money into this, it's going to be a very, very slow process. Okay. Cause you're not going to have the selection. And so you're going to have a harder time selling. Okay. If you live in an area where there's like no other consultants, jump in like with a quickness before anybody else does, and make sure that you're getting yourself out to all those customers. If you've got 50 other consultants in your area, I don't know that I would, knowing what I know now, I don't know that I would do this again. Now that I'm in it, I love it and I'm not giving up. But if I knew what I knew now, then I would not have done it. Because while it did save me when I lost my job, and I had something to fall back on, and while I have made so many friends and met so many people and all of the wonderful things that comes along with it, it is a lot of work and you just don't make the money. Okay. If you've got 20 grand or $15,000 or even $10,000 to invest in inventory, you're going to make money easier because you have more of a selection. The more you have, the more you can sell. It's a simple numbers game. Now my nose is all red. When you don't have as much selection, now you have to find the right person for that piece. And you have less pieces for those people to find. You see what I'm saying? So just be very aware of that. I think if you're going to come into it, you also need to have a game plan of how you're going to sell. And really know that online is not easy. It's not easy for people to buy online because they can't see and try on. And it's not like every piece is exactly the same. It's not going to all fit the same. Every piece of clothing fits differently because it's different fabric. It's different, manufacturer making it. So there's variation in the clothing. And I can't tell you how annoying it is when I'm like, ooh, I really love that. Ooh, it's my size. Yay. And I put it on and I'm like, this is way too small, and it doesn't fit right. So, I think the more and more I do this, the more and more I really believe that Deanne is 100% correct, that the in-person is really where it's at. Because you can try the clothes on, you can touch it, you feel it. The patterns look so different in person than they do online. You see the texture and the fabric. You can try it on and be like, oh, I don't like this fabric. I don't like the way it's fitting on my arms, or I don't like the way, maybe it's feeling a little bit tighter than this one because it's a different fabric, and oh, this one's not as stretchy. And I mean, it's just very difficult. I mean, this is why I have never, and I should know better than this, I never buy clothes online because I can't try them on. And so it's kind of the same premise. Like, when you go into the store, you can try it on, and what looks good on the rack, when you put it on, you're like, this does not fit right. Same premise, okay? So just really think hard about if this is something that you want to do. If it is, go at it full force. Take no prisoners. You know what I'm saying? If you're already a consultant and you're just watching me because you want to see how somebody else is doing, I welcome hearing your feedback, and I welcome, hearing what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what your experience has been. I think we all have different experiences because we all are different people. We live in different areas. We have different amounts of inventory. There's a lot of factors that go into your success, and what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for another. So you have to figure out what's going to work for you. Do not assume, I'm sorry, this is for the new people. Do not assume that because the person that is sponsoring you is making $1 gazillion selling online in her VIP, that does not mean that you're going to. Okay, you are not the same person. You don't have the same amount of inventory. You don't have the same personality. I mean, there's 1,000,001 factors that go into whether or not you're going to be successful or not. So really just contemplate it. It's a business, people. It is a business. That means you provide service to your customers. That means you treat others with respect. That means that you are responsible for making shit happen for you, okay? This is not something where you can come in and be like, oh, I put some clothes up online and it'll sell. No, it ain't. Not going to sell. Maybe you'll sell 1 or 2 things, but you're not going to live on that. And you're going to find that if you do not put the time and the effort and the thought into your business, that it's just going to die, and now you have wasted $5,000. No, I shouldn't say wasted, because you can get your money back. But, you've invested this money and your time into it. Don't screw around, okay? This is a serious business. This is like going to open a restaurant down the street. You got to work it every single day. You have to be, attentive to your inventory numbers. You need to be attentive to what your customers want. You need to be attentive to, making sure that you're keeping track of your expenses. Holy moly. I cannot imagine. There are so many people who don't have a handle on their profit and loss. Like, they're not tracking what their expenses are, what they're making. Are they making anything? Are they losing money? Are they purchasing the right inventory? Like, they're just fucking winging it. And it blows my mind. I mean, you're still going to have to pay taxes on this, people. You need to have all of your expenses logged and accounted for. There's a lot that goes into it. If you're going to do online multis, you got to do ads, you got to pay, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do fucking jobs. I mean, I don't know why people run multis and have you pay, and then you got to also do a job on top of that. Like, that's ridiculous. But there's a lot of different things, and you need to be aware of all of that before you sign up. Okay? Picking your sponsor is so crucial, okay? And it's not about picking someone, I mean, you want to pick someone who's successful, but even more, you want to pick someone who is not going to bullshit you, okay? They're going to give you tough love, and they're going to say, if it's not working, fucking go out and fix it. Excuse my language. Go out and fix it. Figure out what's going to work, okay? I'm not here to tell you what to do to save your business. You got to figure it out, okay? And that's not to say that you don't bounce ideas off and, you don't do all those things and they're not there to support you and listen to you and provide feedback. But you cannot expect that your sponsor is going to run your business for you. You cannot expect that your sponsor is going to teach you everything you know. You need to go out and you need to do the research and you need to figure it out. And your sponsor is there to stand behind you and say, you got this. That's what your sponsor is there for, okay? On the other hand, if you have a crappy sponsor who signs you up and then never talks to you again, there is really something to be said for the camaraderie of this group of consultants. And if you are not plugged in to your upline and plugged into other consultants, and it doesn't necessarily have to be your team, like, get to know the consultants in your area. Get to know, other consultants online who are doing what you love. I mean, be involved in the consultant groups, because there are some fabulous consultants out there who will bend over backwards to, help you come up with some ideas and support you. But in the end, it is your business and you need to figure it out. You need to learn all that you can. You need to come up with your own ideas, whether that's looking at other people and saying, okay, how can I tweak this and make it work for me? Or, trying something, and if it doesn't work, trying something else and not getting discouraged. I have a huge problem with envy and comparison, and I struggle with that every single day, because I look at another consultant who is doing exactly the same thing that I'm doing, who has, a great personality just like I do, and we're doing the exact same thing, and she's successful and I'm not. And that will mess you up in the head so fast that you have to put blinders on, and you just have to say, I'm not going to, something else is making her successful. Okay? It's not that I'm not as good as she is. It's not that, there's anything wrong with me. It's just that there's some secret in her sauce that's making her successful. And that's it. So don't compare yourself. It's so hard. It is so hard. And I just get so angry when I see people just making tons of money. And I'm like, I am working my ass off. And it is not about, this really pisses me off. When the successful people tell you you're not working hard enough, I just want to tell them to go fuck themselves. Because that's bullshit. I work my butt off. I am in this, room. I am working my business 20 hours a day, literally not sleeping, and I'm doing all the same shit that you're doing. You're making a ton of money and I'm not. What is the difference? I'm gonna tell you what. Inventory numbers is huge. Ordering every at least once a week, sometimes two or three times a week, huge. I mean, huge. I wish if somebody had told me that in the beginning, that I wasn't going to be as successful because I didn't have 1,000 or 2,000 pieces, or that I had to have enough money to be able to order once or twice a week at least. I mean, that would have changed everything, because that is huge. It is huge. When you don't have the inventory, when you don't have the money to get new product, you're dead in the water, because your people have already seen it. If you're doing all the same multis every week, those people have seen it. they're not going to keep buying something they've already seen that they didn't like in the first place, okay? So you have to be able to turn the inventory, which means diversifying what you do. And finding out what your niche is. And when that stuff doesn't work for you, go and swap it with somebody else. And then you still have new stuff. So, you know, it's just tough. It is so tough. And, you know, I think, you know, we had this huge high, and then we had all these people, you know, join, and now it's going down, and we're kind of in a slump. And I think it'll go back up, but it's not going to be where it once was. But, you know, part of that is on how you work your business. Are you just doing online? Do you have a ton of inventory? Are you doing in person? Are you, you know, what are you doing that's making you different? That's the biggest factor. So, I've spoken my piece. I've ranted, I've raved. I talked very little about where I'm at, but I think you got a good idea. Yeah, it's been a tough road, y'all. But we're chugging along, and we're gonna keep chugging along, and you're gonna have to rip it from my cold dead hands. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. If you have any questions or you want to just talk, do me a favor, do not post it in YouTube. You know, I'm welcome your comments on YouTube, and that's great. But if you want to actually ask me a question or anything, find me on Facebook. Just look me up. You can, it's LuLaRoe Rebecca Wise. So, I mean, you can find me for sure. PM me or something like that. And that's the best way to get in touch with me. Because if you write a question on the comments, I usually don't respond, just because YouTube is kind of a pain in the ass with comments. So if you want to know something, send me a message or contact me on Facebook, okay? All right, till next time, ladies. Bye.